Caleb, you ever feel like you're burning out?
Once in a while, it happens.
You ever feel like the tasks of each day kind of pile on and it makes you feel like you just don't have the energy to carry on?
Sometimes I'm just too overwhelmed by everything.
I think we've all been there. So what are we going to do to get to that next level, to get past this hurdle in our lives?
Well, I was thinking, tune into Positive Outlook because today's
Yeah.
episode
What's
is
today's
on avoiding
episode?
burnout.
Yes.
Avoiding that burnout.
Today's episode is on avoiding that burnout. What's going on, guys? It's Gabe.
It's Caleb.
And you guys are listening to another episode of the Positive Outlook podcast. We are so grateful once again to have you guys come back each week. This is awesome. And today we are discussing how to avoid burnout, things you can do to exercise to kind of prevent that burnout when life just keeps throwing stuff at you, and you got to keep moving on regardless of what it throws at you, and how to continue just to lead with one foot after each other's step. So, Caleb. Going into, I guess, the first step, you want to just dig into it, or you have something else you want to add to the beginning?
I just wanted to throw in, if you're on YouTube, we love you. Hit that like and subscribe. If you're on any other platforms, make sure to follow so you guys can stay up to date with us. Other than that, let's just dive right in. I love that.
Let's do it. So,
All right, so the first one is self-reflection and analyzation.
yes. So, which one of those two do you think is more common practice, just for something that you would do personally to help, uh, I guess, stop the burnout?
I would say they're very interchangeable in this sense, but typically I would say self-reflection because I
Hmm.
feel like analyzation is more of like a digging deep.
Yeah.
You're fully looking at the whole picture and every little goal that you've maybe missed or whatever. So I'd say probably self-reflection. What
Yeah.
about you?
Yeah, I'm definitely with you. Self-reflection, whether it's subconscious or conscious, is something we're all doing every second of the day. Whether it's us walking into a room and kind of thinking about like, how do I look? Is everyone watching me? Or if it's looking in the mirror and seeing all the flaws in yourself and trying to fine tune from there. I definitely think that self-reflection is more common than analyzation when it comes to those kind of things. So now,
Absolutely.
now let's talk on the benefit of the self-reflection and analyzation, how those can help us with burnout.
Yeah, so self-reflection kind of helps you pause and take a moment to kind of figure out where the burnout is coming from.
Hmm.
Maybe we take just a split second and kind of talk about burning out because I know we know for sure, and I know most people understand burnout, but just in case, maybe we just talk about burning out real quick.
Yeah, yeah. Kind of give a definition of what it means. Yeah.
Yeah, so burning out is kind of the feeling you get or kind of inaction after lots of action is a very simple way of putting it.
Hmm.
It's where you've pushed yourself so hard that you have nothing left. You are below empty, which I've driven below empty and it's not
Hmm.
safe.
Yeah. Yeah. No. So actually, I'm kind of at that point right now. I was just telling Caleb, like, my girlfriend and I, we totally switched up our diets recently. So we moved to like an all kind of like organic, like plant-based diet. And today is the end of the seventh day, and throughout the day, I feel a lot better. But I've been going so low calorie. I think this is what we're recording this at 7 p.m. And I think I've had like 1,400 calories for the day. And granted, we took 2 walks, I worked, and did a workout. So like I've kind of got this level of brain fog going on right now where it feels like I'm reaching that point of burnout. So going into that self-reflection where I can kind of dig deeper and see that analyzation of myself, to see where maybe I can fine tune in my day to help myself out or understand what is causing me to feel burned out is definitely going to be a big priority moving forward from today.
Absolutely. And it's something you can do no matter what, but it especially helps when you burn out. When you're out of gas, you can go, okay, where did I push too hard? Where could I have gone a little harder?
Yeah,
And just kind of, judge it off of there.
yeah. Because at the end of the day, everything you do in life is about balance. So balancing all of those things do create just that kind of um, evil, not evil, even lifestyle. So,
100%.
so moving into number two, disconnecting. Disconnecting. What does that mean to you?
Disconnecting. So I put it more vaguely that because when we were doing our research, it said disconnecting specifically from technology.
Mm-hmm.
I think that one's huge because, as Gabe and I have both voiced many times, we're not a big fan of social media and the poor effects it can have.
Right.
Obviously, we love it because we wouldn't be here without it. But
Mm-hmm.
um, in terms of disconnecting, I also think it just means from people. I think it
Yeah.
means kind of just giving yourself a few moments away from whatever you're chasing. But this one's more oriented towards technology specifically because if you're chasing a goal as hard as you can and you pop on your phone for a little bit and you see what all your friends are up to, it makes you feel worse, like
Yeah.
way worse. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it could also mean like disconnecting from situations or certain environments in your life that do promote extra stress or kind of weigh you down in areas that you want to be, kind of excelling at. And so just trying to recognize what those are, and most importantly, like Caleb said, technology, whether it's limiting your use or completely cutting it off, it is very important to really analyze what you're doing on social media.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right, moving into the third step, exercise. Yeah. You ever feel like exercise might have the reverse effect?
I think if you're kind of overambitious, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
I think that if you don't take, which this is kind of hinting at our last way to avoid burnout,
Yeah.
but I think if you don't take breaks, then you easily can burn out. But one thing that they actually said in a study was that instead of taking a nap, if you go and exercise, you actually are more energized than if you just took a nap.
Yeah. That's awesome.
It's crazy.
Yeah, no, it's really cool because some people have that stigma of like, I'm so tired, I don't have the energy to go work out. But as soon as you get to the gym, get to the park, get to wherever you're going to do your movement with your body, as soon as you start moving and that blood starts pumping and those neurons start firing, you start to get that energy. And by the time you're done with it, you have more energy than when you started, which is a crazy concept, but it's true.
And not to mention, once you've been exercising for a certain amount of time, then it almost becomes addicting.
Mm-hmm.
And it's something that's a really healthy addiction.
Yeah.
Can be. You have to be careful.
Yeah.
You don't want to jump in too much into exercising, but it's one of nature's best ways to help avoid burnout.
Yeah. Now, one thing, even if you are exercising and you're doing it in a safe way, you're limiting your time, not overexerting yourself, you can still definitely get burned out from exercise because your body needs the proper fuel to continue afterwards. So, what is the most important step after exercise?
Eating a balanced diet. I would actually put this above exercising.
Yeah,
I
that's
would.
fair. That's fair. I would as well. It definitely
Because if,
helps.
if you're if you're exercising and all you're eating is junk food, you're just tearing your body down and keeping it torn down.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, no. So, it's almost like it really is just fuel, right? Almost see it as like stopping at the gas pump for your car. It's like your car can only go so far until it's on empty, and then you got to refuel. Same thing goes with food. You can only carry your body so far with an efficiency that you want to be able to keep a good mental attitude, to keep a good physical physique. You can only go so far with the food you put in yourself. So make sure, like right now, so I'm eating low calorie, so I have to make sure that every meal I'm putting in my body is gonna have the nutrition that I need. Like if say I'm only gonna eat 1,500 calories, but then I eat pizza, then that doesn't leave me a lot of room to fill it with greens and all that other stuff. So it's about the efficiency of the food you're putting in your body and making sure that you're putting the right food in your body.
And you can see it on a micro scale. Like, take one example of a time you can think of where you went and got fast food,
Hmm.
and you know that feeling you get where you're immediately just kind of,
Yeah,
ugh, and
sluggish
like,
and
yeah.
yeah.
And then compare that to eating like just one of the healthiest meals you've ever had.
Hmm.
There's just a huge difference immediately after you've
Yeah.
uh, consumed the food.
And the crazy thing is we can physically feel that difference. Like if we
Yeah.
go out and we eat, say we just swing through McDonald's real quick, eat some food, it just starts a bad day. You are so sluggish, you're so groggy, opposed to like if you just eat some eggs and spinach. Then you feel cleaner, you feel more fresh, you feel like you're ready to take on the day. And so why
Yeah,
choose that alternate meal of the fast food other than for the
right.
convenience, you know?
Why not let yourself be a Popeye? Pop
Yeah.
some spinach and you're good to go.
Yeah, be a Popeye, right? That should be our new slogan for the podcast. Be a
Be,
Popeye.
then
That-
we'll have to design the character in a way that doesn't get us in copyright trouble.
yeah. It's just our face on his body. Yeah, that would do it. All right. Now, you can exercise, you can eat a balanced diet, but you won't get off that easy. What do you have to do to continue to keep the cycle alive for the next day?
You have to practice good sleep habits. This is
Yes.
huge. This is something we have kind of touched on before, but this is such an underrated thing,
Mm-hmm.
especially today. It's insane.
Mm-hmm. I out of so a ton of people I've talked to about it when it comes to health and when it comes to mental health, especially like when you're dealing with anxiety and depression, the most important thing that all of them have recommended is to get 8 hours of sleep. If you don't get 8 hours of sleep, if you get less than that, I should say, you're not giving your body a fighting chance to battle whatever is coming for the next day. If you get, less than that, your body's hormones are all off, which can affect just the way you think, the way you want to think. So it's like when it comes to food, you might not even choose the healthy meal because you already feel like crap. So you just don't give yourself the competitive edge or the fighting chance to do well. So make sure you get your sleep.
And on top of getting that sleep, it doesn't matter. Okay, so let me rephrase
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
So when you get your 8 hours, it matters when you get those 8 hours. You can't
hmm
just sleep for 8 hours from noon to 8 p.m. unless you're working nights or something.
Yeah.
Um, and then the next night, go to bed at 11 p.m. It needs to be on a sleep schedule. And that's why, if you work nights, as long as you're keeping it consistent, usually within an hour before or after
hmm
or less, um, a, keeping a steady sleep schedule improves your sleep. It improves your mental health and every good effect that a sleep schedule has. So, sleep habits, get enough sleep and get on a schedule. It will change your life. If you spend a week or two just getting on a good sleep schedule, it is crazy how quickly
hmm
you improve just feeling better.
Yeah. Yeah. Everything can flip with just that. It's crazy. Um, all right. Going into the sixth step, ask for help, dummies. Yeah, come on. I don't know how many times we've brought this up in the last couple episodes. Like, ask for help. Are you kidding me? Go ahead, Caleb. Dig into
Okay, first of all, you're not dumb if you haven't asked for help. That
yeah.
was just kind of a
Yeah, yeah.
comedic thing we threw in there.
It's to make it
Um,
dramatic, to add some emphasis.
right,
Yeah.
exactly. It caught your attention. Yeah, we see you just
Mm-hmm.
now sipping your coffee. Come on now, pay
Yeah.
attention.
Yeah.
Um, just ask for help when things are getting really difficult, when all of your stresses are at a all-time high. There's nothing better to do than to ask for help. And who knows what kind of advice you could get, life-changing advice, or maybe you learn the hard way and know what not to do from asking
Mm-hmm.
for help. But either way, you're learning something if you just reach out.
Yeah. Yeah, no, worst case scenario, you just are where you're, tomorrow you're going to continue to be at where you were today. And I remember, I see the quote all the time. It's like, what should scare you more is being in the same spot a year from now, opposed to taking that step today. And so, which I think is very important to understand. A lot of people don't reach out or don't ask for help because they're scared of, maybe they're embarrassed of it. Maybe they're scared of criticism that they'll receive from whoever they're asking help from. But regardless, it's a step forward. And if you don't ask for help, you're just going to continue to be where you are at today a year from now. And it's just,
Because all it would take, let's say that I am just now getting into real estate, right?
mm-hmm,
Imagine how dumb I would be if I was sitting here working my butt off at real estate, just started, when I have a very good friend who has been doing it for a while and knows people who have been doing it forever.
mm-hmm,
And instead of asking for help, I'm sitting here stressing and I'm burnt out. Like I've got nothing left in me because I've been working so hard at something that just needs a little tweak to it.
yeah,
Sometimes all it takes is someone pointing out, going, "Oh, you do this? Well, if you just switch this tiny little aspect and flip it, it all works out."
yeah. That's a great analogy. When it does come to mental health, view it not so much as like a disability that you have, view it almost as like a task you're trying to achieve. Like when you're
Yeah,
at work and somebody's been doing it longer, you ask them, hey, how do you do this? Help me with the most efficient way that you do this, so that when you're doing it the next time, you are able to do it with more efficiency. And I think that's really what it boils down to, is changing the perspective on what you think you're asking for help for.
exactly. It's like math class, right? We all hated math class. Not
Yeah.
everyone. Okay,
Yeah.
never mind. I
Yeah.
did.
Some of us,
Um,
some of us.
the reason they had you write out your work was so you could, if you did something wrong, they could point it out. So if you don't ask the teacher to review your work, then you're not going to get any better. You're just going to get more behind and
Yeah.
even more burnt out. So
Yeah, I think for the first 35 episodes of Positive Outlook podcast, we asked for feedback, just
mhm.
because we wanted to know where we were failing, and how pretty much asking the audience for help every day as to what they want to see better from us. And it kind of shaped us into who we are now, and we're still asking for help every day. So it's not something to be embarrassed about or ashamed about. Just do it.
Not at all.
Yeah. All right.
I,
What?
I was just gonna say, not at all to the be embarrassed,
Oh,
not at all to
okay. Yeah, yeah. All right. Number 7, getting better with time management. All right. How important is time management to you, Caleb?
time management, especially this year, is one of the most important things to me.
Mm-hmm.
So over the summer, I kind of learned how to do it in a very simple way, just because I was like an independent contractor, so I had to make my own schedule,
Mm-hmm.
and my paychecks reflected how well I stuck to my schedule.
Yeah.
Um, so that was a good kick in the butt. And so when you have a million things floating around, right? Or say that you have, I don't know, 20 meetings, you have 8 workouts, you have, meetings with people that you've never met, just whatever. You just have a bunch of stuff on your plate.
Yeah.
That's part of the reason that you're burning out, is because it's not all in one place where you can see it. So
Mm-hmm.
time management, huge tip. Just get a schedule, whether it's a paper schedule, whether you have to literally create your own calendar, or get a Google Calendar and just block out everything.
Yeah. No, that's great, because you start to think about it when your life gets busier, when you have a lot of things to do in your life. I'd probably say about 15 to 20% of your effort goes into trying to memorize and direct what you're doing. So if you have somewhere to write it down, or have somewhere that'll direct you for you, where you don't have to remember everything, then it begins to clear up some of that mental space, and allow you to focus on the activities that you have ahead of you.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
just sticking to the schedule that you have created and creating the schedule go a long ways in helping you avoid that burnout.
Yeah, definitely. So, moving into the eighth and final step, probably one of the most important ones, is take breaks. It is so important to give yourself a minute to catch your breath, to step back, reanalyze, change your perspective. It's honestly probably the most important step on this list we have.
Absolutely. Some people don't realize that pushing yourself harder and harder and harder and harder, there's a point where you have to stop and take a second to kind of relax.
Yeah.
When Chris Pratt was bulking up and getting in shape for Guardians of the Galaxy, he had one day a week where he'd give himself X amount of time to just eat anything he wanted because his diet was so clean.
Hmm.
And it's a proven fact that when you take breaks, it helps prevent any kind of relapse. So if you're trying something new, if you're, trying a diet, for example, if
Hmm.
you take one specific break that is planned, throw it on your schedule that you just created because we told you to make one.
Hmm.
Um, once you have that block period and you know that break is coming towards you, it gives you a sense of like urgency. It's like, okay, if I just grind this out for 2 more days, I have a little break set for me.
Yeah. And I've almost found that, I mean, this is just for me, everybody's different, but when it comes to those planned breaks, or like, say we'll say like cheat days for a diet, when you plan them out and you get to that day, you almost don't want to indulge in the bad stuff. Like, you get to that point and you're like, okay, well, I'm just going to continue how I am, because I have the freedom. It's almost like everybody wants what they can't have, but if they're making themselves proud with the choices they're doing, they're going to keep making those choices, because we all have the freedom to break a diet. It's just like, what holds us accountable to that, and do we really feel like we have the freedom for it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think taking breaks can just go for anything as well. Like we were talking about working out, it
Yeah.
will burn you out very quickly if you don't let your body recover. You have to mentally and physically recover from almost everything. Everything you do takes a certain amount of energy, certain amount of time. And so if you just keep piling that up, sometimes it's less efficient and more inefficient because you're getting less quality work done. You're freaked out about it, and it's huge to take breaks.
Yeah. Yeah. Unless you're doing the 75 hard, that stuff is crazy. But that's like the whole point of it. So I guess that's a good point is like being able to recover and continue to live a comfortable life. The 75 hard is basically the opposite of that. It's meant to put you through like a mental endurance training and kind of torture you. So I guess that's what your life would be if you don't take breaks. So don't do that. So let's take breaks. Yeah. So
Exactly.
yeah. Do you have any finishing touches you want to add to the episode?
Guys, if you feel like you're starting to experience any form of burnout, feel free to reach out to us through our Instagram.
Yeah.
We'd love to give more specific tips to the individual situation. But the biggest thing is it sounds like we just went through a lot of different things, but it's first of all, it's only 8 things, 8 changes you have to make, and maybe you don't. Maybe it's just a few of these.
Mm-hmm.
But I really recommend working on all 8 of them. I
Yeah.
don't recommend just picking one and being like, okay, this should avoid all burnout.
Yeah.
I think it all plays together, kind of like the exercising and the eating, the time
Yeah.
management and the taking breaks. It's all kind of intertwined.
Yeah. Yeah, it all comes back full circle. And I think it sounds like a lot and it could be overwhelming to implement all of those right now, but I think if you can sit down and plan it out and really implement, take 45 minutes an hour to plan out your week and implement all of these into your week, go through the 7 days. Stick to it for 7 days. Say, hey, I'm going to do this. This is exactly what I want to do. Let's see what the benefits are. If you're not a fan of it, all you did was use 7 days. Then just don't do it after that. But I promise you
Right.
guys, after the 7 days, you're going to want to stick to it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So there's a challenge for anyone that watches or listens. For
Yeah.
7 days, do all 8 of these. You can even save the self-reflection for the seventh day. So for 7 days, do seven and then do the self-reflection after. And let us know what you guys find out. Maybe your life has changed. Maybe it made it worse.
Yeah. Yeah. If you guys are up for the challenge, yeah, comment on this one. Just like I accept the challenge. Or like I'm going to do it, something like that. And then come back when we drop our next episode and let us know how it helped you. I think that'd be awesome for us to see as well.
Absolutely. That'd be sweet.
Yeah. So, thank you guys so much for watching. Once again, we appreciate all you guys. If you guys are here on YouTube, make sure to like and subscribe, share with a friend, family member, something like that. And then if you guys are on one of our other platforms, we appreciate you guys listening. And YouTube is better because you can see our beautiful faces. So head on over if you're on one of those, and we will see you guys next time.
Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. Peace.